Welcome back to the Bullpen Mafia, Season 3, recording live out of the Magic City Sound studio. Toad, Paul behind the ones and twos. We're happy to be back, man. It's
Season 3.
Season 3,
Can you
man.
believe it, Javi?
Already,
Time is flying.
Time flies. Time flies. We're in the thick of the Major League Baseball offseason, but we thought it would be a great opportunity for us to get back, get in front of you all, give a little synopsis on what the offseason has looked like, and, you know, Toad and I just need an excuse to talk baseball, essentially. We figured why not get back.
What better time to kick off Season 3 than leading up into pitchers and catchers reporting?
About a month away? A little less.
A little less.
We're inside of a month.
We're inside of a month of pitchers and catchers reporting. We bleed that right into spring training, and the gem of the 2026 offseason, the World Baseball Classic, and lucky enough for us that it's being hosted at Lone Depot Park, the only stadium with all 3 rounds. But before we get into that, you're right. Let's pull back the curtain a little bit. What have we been up to this offseason? There's been a lot of brainstorming. The Mafia is alive and well. This is Season 2 in Magic City Sound Studio. So we have lights now. We're evolving. So look, I have to say,
Off-season acquisitions happened in here too.
Yes. Yeah. Every off-season we get better. We have our own GMs.
Yeah.
We have our own
Exactly
hobos,
right.
if you will. So this off-season, I think, has been electric for us. Your Hurricanes play Monday. I mean, whenever we end up releasing this, you're either going to be a champion or a runner-up. So you've been to a few of the playoff games.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk us through?
It's been fun. It's been fun.
Wait, you went to Phoenix or Glendale?
I went to the A&M game in College Station.
Okay.
We did not go to the Cotton Bowl. We got fleeced on our tickets selling those, but that's a story for another day. Then we went to Glendale. Georgie and I went to Glendale to watch the Canes play Ole Miss in the semifinal. So I'm fortunate enough to go to the final as well. Like you mentioned, whenever we release this episode, I'll either be a champion or I'll be a national championship runner-up. Either way, it's been a great run, I think. And we've said this many times on this show, sports has a really cool way of kind of like re-energizing you, making you feel like you're part of something that, you know, is bigger than you. Seeing so many familiar faces, both friends, former teammates, alumni of the University of Miami get behind this team. And I think it leads into, hey, the offseason, I've had something to sort of keep my time, keep my focus away from baseball, but I'm itching to get back into baseball, man. I think we've had conversations over the last couple of weeks, you, Paul, the Bullpen Mafia team, trying to figure out what's next for 2026. And we're really excited.
Hold on. And before we move on into some of the other things we've been up to, you're going to be at the National Championship.
I'm going to be there.
And I've seen online, it's impossible to avoid the nightmare situation of Hurricanes fans trying to get tickets. They're getting priced out. Indiana fans, Miami fans, it's bipartisan how upset both fan bases are. How exactly did you secure tickets? Is it because
I believe maybe
Canes baseball connections?
No.
Is it because you're Mr. Perfect that you got hooked up with tickets?
No. I believed.
Who did you bribe?
I believed very early on. My brother and I got the email, as all season ticket holders did, that you were able to secure tickets if the Hurricanes continue to advance.
So so I respect that. From day one, from the opportunity to commit.
We committed to all the rounds.
College football playoff tickets, you said we're in.
We committed to all the rounds, and I will say, I know the University of Miami has no say in the college football playoff allotment. They've made that very clear. This is all run through the CFP.
Sure.
Which I don't even know what the CFP is, but they're in charge. The CFP does a great job. You committed for tickets. They told me, hey, I would have tickets to the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the National Championship. The moment the clock strikes 0, you are charged so quickly for the next round.
I mean, we experienced that with the Panthers tickets.
We are charged immediately with those tickets. So
zero hesitation.
Zero hesitation. The clock strikes 0. I got a notification from Citibank. Do you approve this large transaction? I got that 3 times. So
imagine if you didn't sign up. Imagine how big that
people are realizing that now. It's tough. Look, these are grand sporting events. I mean, the president's going to be there, the Secretary of State.
We're looking forward to an absolutely fantastic championship.
It's going to be one of the bigger events in Miami, and we're so fortunate because there's so many big events, right?
Like I think that's a great transition into the events that have been hosted at Miami in such a short window of time, right? We had the Orange Bowl, the national championship, obviously the Winter Classic was in Miami. Lone Depot Park also hosted.
Lone Depot Park showed off. That was sick.
Man. Let's talk about that for a little bit. I mean, everyone in Miami, South Florida, have become huge Panthers fans. I mean, it's for obvious reasons, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. But that event, and kudos to the Lone Depot Park venue staff, the event staff, the NHL, man, they went all in. And it was mind-blowing to see a hockey rink functioning on a baseball stadium. It was
roof open, windows open,
fireworks getting fired off from spots you've never seen them fired off before in Lone Depot Park.
It was chilly inside. It felt like a hocky game because it was roof open. And it was probably let's call it 50 degrees outside. And
yeah, I mean, the hockey gods were definitely smiling on South Florida that night.
Except for the game, but that's besides the point.
Rangers and Panthers seem to be trending down, but we won't.
We don't have to talk about that.
I'm not going to hold them. The Panthers' leash is getting extended because they're beat up, and they've won back-to-back cups.
Yeah,
and
full
not
immunity.
only did they win back-to-back cups, they went to 3 straight.
Yeah,
so this
immunity.
roster is, they get a pass, right? So, but back to the Winter Classic. Such a unique experience. Grateful to be there. I know. Again, you got hooked up last second. Pretty
Toad
crazy.
called me about, 2 hours before the game saying, hey, I got 2 extra tickets. Don't ask me how I got them, but if you can be here in 2 hours, and we did everything we could. We were there. And it was really cool because I think, my wife Monica has started to watch hockey with this Panthers run. So the last 2 years she's gotten into it. And we were a couple nights before this, we were watching the Tampa Bay Lightning play the Panthers, which was an electric game. It was just
the first game out of the holiday break.
They were itching to get back on the ice very clearly. They were fighting like crazy. It was a high-scoring game. Panthers beat up on the Lightning, and Monica was dialed in. I mean, those are the kinds of games that if you're a casual fan, you're watching. But again, we go to the Winter Classic, and again, from my standpoint, I was there strictly as a fan and just to watch and to appreciate, first of all, the level of hard work. You mentioned that the venue staff, both from the NHL, the Marlins, Major League Baseball, to put that all together and to have 35,000 people in a baseball stadium to watch a hockey game.
In Little Havana.
Like,
I think,
what a world, dude. What a world.
To me, that's the most mind-blowing part of it. It's one of the one of the most densely populated areas of South Florida with Cubans, with Latino people, and to have a hockey game there under the elements.
So cool.
It's so cool on the grounds of the Orange Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's such a historic plot of land that the Winter Classic just adds to the lore, and we're gonna get blessed again in Little Havana with the World Baseball Classic, and shortly after that, opening day, and what we're hoping is going to be planning on being an exciting Marlins season, and that Marlins season really kicks off on February 7th at FanFest. We'll get into it a little bit later in the other segments, but a lot of new faces on the Marlins acquired via trade. But we want to say it here, Bullpen Mafia will be at FanFest.
Yep.
The Saturday before the Super Bowl, February 7th at 4 p.m. The players are going to be there. Owen Caissie, Pete Fairbanks, Esteury Ruiz, a lot of the big names on the roster. Everyone's going to be there. Fans are going to be able to meet the new guys. They're going to be able to hear from Peter Bendix, the manager, Clayton McCullough. You've been a FanFest person, no?
I am.
Did University of Miami ever host FanFest for Canes baseball?
FanFest is great. I think it's the first. Baseball starts getting, as you get closer and closer, the anticipation from a player's standpoint. You just want to get to spring training. FanFest is the first real portion of being together as a team. So you see your teammates. A lot of guys that separate for the off season. They go back to their home, wherever that may be. It's really the first time you're all back together, seeing the guys. You feel like, hey, now we know FanFest, spring training.
It kind of materializes.
Yes, it's like this avalanche that starts building.
Baseball is starting,
and I think the cool thing too is you can kind of see guys with their guards down. Right, they're going to be amongst the fans, conversing, chatting, seeing the personality of some of the players that you may not know just yet, the household names that you don't know of, the ones that your kids are going to be buying jerseys in a couple of years. I think this has been a tremendous offseason for the Marlins in a lot of different ways, but FanFest is kind of like the window into the future, right? Because I'm sure there's going to be players that fans haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of, haven't interacted with. They're going to get the opportunity to sign autographs, check out all the new merchandise. It's a super cool event.
And one of those guys who's going to be at FanFest, or hoping to, I don't think the team has actually confirmed it, but we're assuming and hoping he's going to be there, is Owen Caissie. Acquired from the Cubs for Edward Cabrera. A couple other prospects came back to the Marlins in the deal too. But Owen Caissie's an interesting one because Marlins fans are going to get a chance to meet him, interact with him at FanFest. But he's such a unique prospect because he's 22, 23 years old. He's going to be playing for Canada in the World Baseball Classic for the second time already in his career. And I think it's going to mean a lot to his development as a pro. I think he's maturing as a hitter, as a professional baseball player. I know Freddie Freeman's not going to be on that roster, but he's also going to have another Marlins teammate.
Otto Lopez.
Too. And Liam Hicks.
That's right.
So the three of them, three Marlins players who, obviously Otto Lopez and Liam Hicks are currently teammates, but it's going to be a great opportunity for them to build some rapport with a young guy, kind of show him the ropes of how the Marlins work, expectations for this season, kind of, again, building the momentum. And I think Owen Caissie, our friend Jack Murphy, scout for the Dodgers, he's high on Owen Caissie, a guy who's he's watched from afar, and if someone from the Dodgers is high on somebody,
Watch out.
I'm gonna take their word for it. So, again, to loop this all together, I think Marlins fans should be really excited for FanFest. The new faces are going to be there. It's going to be your first look at Owen Caissie in Marlins colors, again, along with Pete Fairbanks. And again, I don't want to get too ahead here, but we'll talk about the acquisition of Fairbanks. Javi, I really want to get your thoughts on him, but we've touched on it a little bit here with the three Marlins players on Team Canada, but the World Baseball Classic overall, it seems to have a new, or not new, but like a renewed hype, energy around it. The American players are all in. Team USA has commitments from Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal, among a bunch of other all-stars.
If you really look at it, it was, I think, the United States found itself in a predicament the last time the World Baseball Classic was played, right? Japan had all their superstars playing for their team, for their country. The USA obviously lost a heartbreaker in the final. Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout at Lone Depot Park. I think it was a tipping point for the big names in the United States to say, hey, this is our chance to reclaim the title of the best team in the world. And to do that, we need the best players from our country to play. They got commitments from Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt, to name, you mentioned Skubal and Skeens, who are, Schwarber. It is a who's who of baseball talent in the United States. And it's finally a moment where you can say, like, we'd always gotten the best bats, all the best players, the best hitters had played, but we hadn't gotten that same commitment level from pitchers. And not to say that they didn't have talented pitchers on those rosters. They just didn't have the best of the best to compete with Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Japan, who got the best talent in their country to play. This is the first time we're going to see, obviously Skubal back-to-back
two Cy Young winners.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. And I the memes are hilarious. It's like Paul Skeens is going to start against Brazil in the, like, are you kidding me? But it's cool in the sense that, hey, if you're a kid and you're growing up, I remember my memories of the World Baseball Classic. It is the best baseball event to prime you for the season, right? Because you're getting World Series level intensity baseball in early March.
Yeah.
You're going to see the best players play in high stakes games in March. Like, if you're a baseball fan, if you're a baseball junkie, you cannot ask for more. You're getting 2 World Series events in one season.
What a way to get the season started. And I know, again, Marlins propaganda machine, but we finished the season super strong. And then we're not just going straight into opening day.
Yeah.
We have this 2-week tease.
Lather up the fans, baby.
Like, get us ready. Like, show off what Lone Depot Park is capable of when it's a packed house.
And look, we went a couple years ago, right? And we went to a game. I think we went to
Puerto Rico against Nicaragua. Yep.
It was an early game. It was a noon game, I want to say.
On a Saturday or Sunday.
And when we walked into that game, we thought, oh, Puerto Rico is going to kill these guys. It was such a fun environment, even for the and I'm not knocking any country, but there's some countries with more talent than others. It's very fair to say.
It's the same thing in the World Cup.
Exactly. But you have such a passionate fan base that shows up to that stadium. We were sitting in a relatively Nicaragua section.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. We were standing the whole game and they were losing by 6 or 7 runs.
Yeah.
It was like a full-on party. And I think the cool thing for South Florida is, you mentioned it at the outset, we host all the rounds, right? So we get pool play, we get quarterfinal, semifinal, and final here, right? So we have the ability to watch teams from all over the world. We pack this place up. We pack Lone Depot. And then, hey, when you walk out of that stadium after the final, in 2 weeks, you get opening day. You get Marlins opening day on a Friday night, a Kyle Stowers bobblehead. So, again, you have this runway into Major League Baseball where you're getting super high-level play, high-level intensity baseball games before opening day. Like, this is a great opportunity for this community to show that baseball is the biggest thing happening down here in South Florida. It's going to be a lone standing event.
Look, we're a baseball podcast. And we're Miami guys, so there's some double bias here. But of all the events that are coming to Miami have come to Miami in the last 3 months, I'm talking Winter Classic, the National Championship, the World Cup coming this summer. The World Baseball Classic is going to be the best event in South Florida in 2026.
I agree. You heard it here first.
I'm excited, man. Now being on the inside, being on the Marlins side, my coworkers, they're warning me. They're like, we know you've been to WBC games, but you're not ready.
Yeah.
The atmosphere around the ballpark changes. It's baseball, but you're going to consume it in a way that you haven't before. There are passionate Yankees fans. There's passionate Red Sox, Dodgers, Braves, Marlins, you name it, right? People love their clubs. But there's nothing like when you're getting behind your country, man.
No.
Even in Houston, the Mexico-USA game sold out in 5 minutes. Yeah. That is crazy. It's crazy.
It's beyond anything. And I think, again, you mentioned it, as baseball fans, we get this really cool opportunity. As South Floridians, you have double the opportunity. You have so many chances. And even if it's not one of the quote-unquote marquee matchups, go watch Israel. Go watch Netherlands. Go watch some of these teams that...
look at Team Great Britain. Jazz Chisholm yesterday committed to playing for Great Britain.
Unbelievable. It's so cool. And again, you get so much passion from so many different fan bases. It's a melting pot in South Florida. That stadium is a powder keg. When I'm telling you, we walked out of Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. I think the next game was Dominican Republic, Venezuela. You couldn't even walk out of the stadium. You could not walk out of the stadium. It was a party. It was unbelievable.
If you can, even if it's the noon games, if it's Israel versus Netherlands or Venezuela versus Israel or Netherlands, get a ticket.
Take your kids.
Experience it. And remember that feeling when you go to Lone Depot Park and it's packed. You can do the same for the Marlins.
Yeah, and you should.
Because a lot of those guys who are playing in the World Baseball Classic, guess what, folks? They play for the Marlins. Yeah. The Marlins have I'm not going to say shocking or alarming, but the Marlins have an impressive amount of guys on these rosters. Mm-hmm. Sandy Alcantara for the DR. It's rumored Agustin Ramirez is going to be one of the catchers for the Dominican Republic. Team Canada, we've already mentioned it. Newcomer Owen Caissie. Marlins shortstop Otto Lopez. Utility first baseman, catcher, DH, Liam Hicks. Who else do we got?
Sonoja.
Javier Sonoja for Venezuela. And by the way, in case you forgot, he's a Gold Glove winner.
Yeah.
And
we're probably missing some because some of the rosters haven't been fully announced yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's more Marlins.
And if he didn't get Tommy John, Ronnie Henriquez would have pitched for Team DR.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Pete Fairbanks gets the call to be the Team USA closer.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about the roster development.
The direction
that Pete Bendix and Gabe Kapler and Clayton McCullough have invested and guided this young Marlins team, and Bruce Sherman investing in player development for the Marlins, that these guys are getting the nods from their countries to be on this huge stage before the season starts. And again, this experience for the Marlins players is going to be invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a team that learned how to win last year. And I think on these stages where a lot is on the line, like these guys, Owen Caissie and Otto Lopez, and I mean, Sandy's already a veteran, but when it comes to opening day or some big moments against the Mets and Phillies throughout the season, they're going to be unfazed.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And I think from where we sit, right, last year's Marlins team, the 2025 Marlins team was a surprise to a lot of people around Major League Baseball, but it wasn't a surprise to the architect, right? And I think the architect, Peter Bendix, working with Gabe Kapler, the alignment of the organization, we've seen a plan come to fruition this offseason. I mean, the next thing we're probably going to talk about here is the MLB hot stove, and I think the Marlins are right in the thick of it. They've had a tremendous offseason.
The Kyle Tucker headlines and Bo Bichette going to the Mets, the Marlins have been the center of the MLB hot stove.
Yeah, they've had two massive trades with big implications, and I think the theme of all of this is player development, right? I think Peter Bendix, we talked about this last year with Kyle Seeloff. Peter has a plan. Peter understands what he wants to do and how he wants to do it, and he's going to execute that plan the best way he knows how. And he operated from a position of strength this offseason. He moved Edward Cabrera to the Cubs. He gets his big return piece. It's Owen Caissie.
A guy who they've seemed to have been...
They were after him for a long time.
Infatuated with for the past two seasons. Last year...
And not just the Marlins. Owen Caissie he's a frontline prospect. He's a top 20 prospect in baseball.
He wasn't a Cubs guy.
Right.
The Cubs got him from the Padres.
Yeah.
So he's been a highly coveted young player since he was drafted, I think, in the second round.
I'm not sure.
Second round. Come on, man.
I should know. But
come on, man. We're
I know.
Trying to keep
He's ours now. I don't care where he came from. He's ours now.
But it's not just Owen Caissie. It's going after guys like Esteury. You think that's how you say it?
You know more than I do. Don't put me on the spot with that one.
Esteury Ruiz, who's a speed demon. You know, the Marlins traded Dane Myers in the offseason to the Cincinnati Reds. So they were looking for some speed, and Bendix
go get
and
the
Kapler,
fastest guy.
They said,
Esteury
we need
Ruiz.
speed. Let's go get the fastest guy out there. So they, I believe it was a trade for Esteury. Oh my God. Let's just say Ruiz. Ruiz from the Dodgers. He's on the Marlins. Marlins.
Ruiz can come on the Mafia whenever he wants, and he can come and claim what his name is and tell us how to phonetically pronounce it. But to your point, the plan this offseason was we're going to get better. We're going to move pieces that from a position of strength. Again, the Marlins starting pitching staff next season without Edward Cabrera and Ryan Weathers
is still one of the best.
Stacked, right? When you're going out there with Sandy Alcantara and Eury Perez as your number one and number two starters, I can't name a lot of teams in Major League Baseball that I would rather trade places with from a starting pitching standpoint, right? You got Robbie Snelling and Tommy White coming up from, the minor leagues. They're in AAA.
Both of those guys are going to have a chance to be on the team.
They're going to play. They're going to factor in 2026. We don't know when, but I think they will be factors in 2026. You got Max Meyer coming back, right?
Braxton Garrett's coming back.
Braxton Garrett. You have a lot of folks
and guys who even surprised us last season. Jansen Junk, came out of nowhere. Ryan Gusto, who they acquired from Houston for.
Come on. Jesus Sanchez.
So Gusto's going to...
Get off me, dude.
Hey, look at that. See, it's funny. When a guy's not on your... I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Jesus Sanchez.
It's perfectly... It's a well-executed plan by Peter Bendix, operating from position of strength, knowing I have starting pitching depth. I can move pieces.
And the Marlins have all the leverage. Bendix has all the leverage.
And he acquires what Bendix has done for the last 3 seasons, acquiring high-level prospects that he can flood our system with. And again, we've seen Peter Bendix in a lot of his moves. It seems like he's gone for volume of prospects, right? The returns of 4-3 players that you can inject into a system and let the cream rise to the top. We're looking at a Marlins system that, first of all, last year's draft was unbelievable. Ava Arquette, top pick from, was it Oregon State?
Yeah.
Oregon State shortstop.
Him and Oregon State broke Florida State's hearts.
So you're flooding your system with athletes, high-level prospects, guys who are all going to come. I think the really cool thing, and we've talked about this at length, we talked about it with Jack Murphy, we talked about it with our buddy Sam Abrams, you want to get your prospects to all make it to the major leagues at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like you want guys to play together in the minors, learn how to win in the minors. start moving from A ball to double A to triple A, and then you have this flood of really high level players at the major league level at the same time. And then that's when you go on a run. And we're in a position now where, yes, last year the Marlins didn't make the playoffs, but they were playing meaningful baseball with a week left in the season.
And they finished in third place behind the juggernaut Phillies and Mets.
Yeah.
And prevented the Mets from making the playoffs.
Yeah. So we basically were a playoff team. If we prevented the Mets, right? You cancel each other out. But yeah, I'm excited. I think, again, the two trades, we touched on Pete Fairbanks. We touched on what a healthy rotation looks like for the Marlins next season. We're going to have, some of our Marlins friends on and presumably here before the season to just talk about it at length about what the offseason meant for the Marlins. But I think as a fan, you're obviously a little closer to it than I am. As a fan, I was so happy that Peter, again, went into the offseason with a plan. He was very dedicated to moving two pieces. Again, Edward Cabrera is a great starting pitcher for us. Ryan Weathers flashed a ton, but I think the returns are really exciting for Marlins fans. I think
a bunch of athletes, man,
that are going to be part of the future. Again, I think what excites me as a former baseball player, when you get these top prospects in the room at the same time, again, they're going to learn how to win together in Double A. They're going to learn how to win together in Triple A. And who knows, maybe at the end of the season, September, early next season, a lot of these guys are knocking on the door, and we're going to see the Owen Caissies of the world, the Ava Arquettes of the world playing for the Marlins for a really long time. So bravo to Kapler, bravo to Peter Bendix.
It's an exciting time to be a Marlins fan.
Exactly is.
The come up is here.
So many pieces too at the big league level, right?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? They have so many outfielders, so many guys that you're just going to see interchanging in and out.
And even flex it, like we didn't even touch on him, but Chris Morel, that they signed, a former Cubby and Tampa Bay Ray, he's flexible. He can play both corner outfields. He can play first base.
Griffin Conine coming back.
Yeah, where are you going to put Griffin Conine?
Again, really good problems to have.
Yeah, this is what you want. A lot of teams fade in Major League Baseball because they have no organizational depth, right? Like a team starts hot, a couple guys go down on the IL for a little bit, and they fade. With the Marlins, I mean, from my perspective, it's if that was to happen, they have the pieces to prevent that,
right?
Both on the position player side, and in the pitching staff.
I think what you're going to see is one of the most competitive spring trainings from a Marlins standpoint.
And you like that? I mean, you can speak on that a little bit.
It's awesome. I think again, when you're in a competitive spring training and it's a healthy competition, right? You have to imagine that what Peter has also done is he's flooded the system with really good people too, right? I think at a very high level, when you get to the double A's and triple A's of the world, for better or for worse, you're going to spring training every day and you're seeing your competition because you're competing for the same spots. And what you really want when you get to spring training is, hey, how do we get guys, number one, that get along, that have good character, that want to build a culture of winning, and number two, want to play together. I think that's the most important thing, right? Because it's very easy to fall into the trap of, rooting for, I don't want to say for others to fail, but you realize there's one shortstop at the major league level. There's one second baseman. Yes, there are backups, but there's one guy starting every day. There's a guy behind him, and then there's you in AAA, right? You want to make sure that, hey, the organizational culture is, I want that guy at the big league level to do well. I'm going to do well in AAA, and I'm going to be ready to go when my name is called. I think that's something, too, that when you get to spring training, you're going to see such a competitive spring. And I think from Kapler's standpoint, from Bendix's standpoint, you have to be really excited that, again, you're flooding the system with great athletes. Let the cream rise to the top and see what happens.
And imagine Clayton McCullough is sitting in the dugout now with all of these athletes and great pitchers.
Freak shows everywhere, dude.
He's going to go up to Jupiter this year and see some of the new acquisitions and even the guys they've had on the roster be like, what is this?
Yeah.
You can field a football team with some of these guys.
I remember Kyle Seeloff sitting in the seat around this time last year. He said one of the craziest things that he had seen year to year with Peter Bendix was the level of athletes that he had on the backfield, right? It was the athletes in high A, the athletes in double A, the guys who the casual fan may not know yet, but they're coming. They're coming. They're here sooner than you think, right? And now we have, the more you fill those backfields with high level quality talent, and then at the end of the day, it's just player development. Getting those guys ready to participate in the big leagues and stay in the big leagues is what, the next big question. But from this standpoint, the Marlins, from a player acquisition standpoint, they've had a great offseason. I'm super excited as a fan to watch some of these guys, play in 2026.
And we've talked about spring training from our perspective, right? Outsiders looking in and what we're assuming it's going to be like for the Marlins and their players. But Javi, I want to ask you, you've been in multiple spring trainings. You've experienced several off seasons as a professional athlete and even at UM, right? And even going back to high school. What's this time of year like for a pitcher? Like when you're ramping up into spring training, you're going to be competitive, you're fighting for a spot, whether that's at the big league level or even trying to move up from high A to single A to double to triple. What's that prep for you as a minor leaguer going into spring training?
It's a good question because I think as I matured, my off seasons look drastically different. I think when you're a younger player, especially in college, your off season is not as long as at the major league level. So what I learned pretty quickly was after my first minor league season, I went to instructional league. So I finished right around Thanksgiving, let's call it. That's when my off season really started. I took 3 weeks off, and usually when the calendar hits January 1, guys really start ramping up. They start lifting weights, they start running, they start throwing. I think this is a critical time for pitchers because it's where you see a lot of pitchers getting hurt right when they get to spring training. They haven't built up. I think building up is the most important part of a pitcher's regimen. And there's so much science now telling, folks, some guys don't stop throwing all off season. We've seen that more and more. I was not like that. I needed a full 3-week reset with my body. It's true. And I think you learn as you get older how your body functions.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the beauties of playing baseball is it's not cookie cutter. Some folks need to be pitching and playing all year long, and they do. They go to winter ball. They don't stop throwing. They play another month and a half in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and Venezuela, and they jump right into spring training. I was a guy that I needed my time off. I needed to rest my body, totally decompress. I did a lot of stretching, a lot of yoga. I wish I had done more of that in my career to probably prevent some injuries, but guys are scientists now. And I think that's one of the cool things. I mean, I'm getting served a ton of stuff on my Instagram of pitchers ramping up. You see videos of guys playing catch. You go drive by the University of Miami, you drive by Columbus. There's, big leaguers working out there. They're starting to hit.
You go by UM right now, you hear the gloves popping.
Yeah. And we were fortunate last week. We went to John Jay's event with the MLB Players Association. We saw some of the guys. A lot of the minor leaguers were playing catch. Paul and I were standing out there, and some of the minor leaguers were throwing. And we saw the long toss. We saw guys hitting, and it's a cool thing because everybody realizes how difficult baseball is. And I think what is kind of the unsung part of it is it's a full-time job, especially in the off season where no one's really around watching you work out. Hey, if I wanted to, I didn't have to work out ever, right? There's no one that's pushing me to. The teams kind of let you go. You go off on your own way. It's like, hey, here's your report date, February 12th when pitchers and catchers report. We'll see if you come back in shape and ready to go or not. And fortunately, I was surrounded by a good nucleus of people down here in South Florida that had been there. Guys like John Jay, guys like Yasmani Grandal, who had played at the major league level, who kind of ushered you through what an offseason looks like. And, look, the anticipation now when you're inside of a month, you're so excited. And that's why I think the FanFest is so important, right? Because, again, guys get together, guys start to feel it. The locker room, the energy, you realize, hey, I'm going to Jupiter in 4 or 5 days. Like now the bullets are really flying. This is real. So like the baseball offseason has a great lead up. And I love to say that I am a follower of MLB trade rumors. I always have that tab open on my computer because I want to see what's going on. Yeah. There's so much movement. And we're fortunate this year as Marlins fans that we're in the thick of it. Like we were right in the middle of it. You mentioned it. We were one of the teams that was the most aggressive. It's great to see it. And it only feeds more into, hey, we are so ready for pitchers and catchers to report. It's a great offseason. We're going to talk about some of the signings and we'll quickly touch on them. Some of the bigger ones more than anything. I mean, but what an offseason, dude.
Yeah, man. Let's go around the league here before we sign off on episode 1 of season 3. It's been a long offseason. Yeah. It feels like. And it started, ironically, with our guy, Cody Ponce, after a historic KBO season.
MVP.
The MVP, Cy Young, and the strikeout king in the history of KBO. Cody Ponce signed a 3-year mega deal with the
Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, who they lost the World Series and they're re-upping, it seems like, across the board. So Cody Ponce, just want to ISO him here. A big congratulations to him.
He kind of alluded to when we had him on. Remember, he was like,
he knew he was up to something. Hard for that guy to hold in any emotions, as you can imagine. But
we're happy for him, man. That's really cool.
Super happy.
Another country too. He's playing Canada. So Korea to Canada.
World he's got to get one of those globe things. And stick a pin in all the countries you've been to.
The Blue Jays were super aggressive, man. Dylan Cease too.
Yeah, man. The Blue Jays were in Miami. Dang, so he's not coming to Miami this season. That's okay. Brandon Woodruff, he re-signed with Milwaukee, close friend of the Mafia.
Happy for him. He belongs in Milwaukee, man.
Yeah. He kind of looks like the Beer Man logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. He just I saw his wife posted him on Instagram the other day, and I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, what is? I mean, the beard's gotten long. Woody's off-season beard is legit.
He got to grow out the beard so you could hide in the bush when you're doing deer hunting.
Baby. We're happy for him. He's we hope he's a Brewer for life. That was a great moment for us to see him go back there. It's funny, we're looking at the outline. We wrote this a day and a half ago, and we had where's Kyle Tucker signing? Well, did he ever?
Breaking news. Kyle Tucker's a Dodger. He abandoned the Windy City and the Chicago Cubs.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. What the Dodgers are gonna, lineup they're gonna trot out there next year. I don't want to sound
like David Sampson, but wait to see. Like I think that's a huge swing for a guy that he's been fantastic in the playoffs when he plays in the playoffs, but kind of, you know, I wouldn't say he's an above average player, but
a lot of money going his way.
A lot of money for a corner outfielder on a team that's already stacked. So. We'll see how that affects the bigger picture of baseball. You know, the elephant in the room across Major League Baseball is the impending possible lockout of 2027. So
it's hard to imagine a world where we're not going to have baseball in 2027. But I think the moves like the Kyle Tucker signing, the writing's on the wall, right? Something's got to give at this point. We're at a point in Major League Baseball where I think the fan fervor towards teams and organizations that haven't necessarily spent at the same level as other organizations, teams that aren't as active, and they give off the impression that they're not necessarily trying to compete, right? I think it's irritated fans, and it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in.
I mean, baseball is a unique sport because there's no salary floor, there's no salary cap, so there are multiple ways to build a champion. The Dodgers has been mega spend,
defer a lot of payments,
defer a lot of money. I mean, what that does to that organization down the line,
who knows? Yeah.
Who knows, right? They could be setting themselves up for massive failure in 10 to 15 years. But, you know, obviously we won't know that now. I think people are upset because they've won back-to-back.
Yeah.
If the Blue Jays would have won last year, I don't think anyone's batting an eye that the Kyle Tucker signed with the Dodgers, right? Like, I just think baseball's a really unique sport. There's no sport like it with the farm system. You know, like you can build your organization from within and from the back end. You don't need to sign a million free agents every year. Not every team is built like that. And that's okay. That's what makes baseball
It's one of the
unique.
beauties of baseball. And that's a great point you just made, because I think, you know, we have so many juxtapositions of organizations. When you really look at Major League Baseball and you look at the payroll numbers of some teams, like the difference between 1 and 10 is huge.
Yeah.
And there's another gap between 10 and 30, right? So like, again, there's so many different ways to build a team. And I think what fans are pushing for and baseball enthusiasts are like, let's just get some ground rules. So like all the owners are playing by the same rules. And it's not the Dodgers' fault. They're not playing outside the rules.
Yeah, they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. And that's a hard part for people to swallow.
That's how they want to chase winning World Series. So be it. The Marlins have their own way. The Braves have their own way. The Giants, the Mariners, every team has a unique structure. And I mean, just to wrap this all up, like that's what a lot of Marlins fans thought the Marlins were lacking. Like there didn't seem to be this like master plan or North Star. And that's what Bendix and Kapler have brought in. Like, hey, this is how we're going to build from within.
Trust us.
Yeah, trust us. We have our own process, and other teams will have their own. You know, and I'm not going to obviously speak for them, but you can tell like from team to team how each functions and how they operate, how they acquire players, how they invest in training, whatever it is. Kyle Tucker seemed to be the first domino, right? Like he leaves the Cubs, picks the Dodgers, and then there's like this knee-jerk reaction, this domino effect. So
Steve Cohen couldn't wait to spend more money.
The Cubs couldn't get Tucker, so what do? They sign Bregman. a day later,
the Mets couldn't get Tucker, so they signed Bichette.
The Mets couldn't sign Kyle Tucker, and Uncle Steve signs Bo Bichette. And then
the rest of the dominoes.
I mean,
the Ranger
Suárez to the Red Sox. Nolan Arenado is traded to the D-backs.
The Nolan Arenado thing was crazy. The Cardinals are basically paying his salary for the next 2 years. The D-backs are paying $11 million over 2 seasons for, was it 10-time Gold Glove winning third baseman?
Future Hall of Famer.
Future Hall of Famer. His performance, yes, has fallen off a bit over the last couple of years, but you have to imagine if you're adding that to your lineup, it's for $11 million. I mean, I can get a 10-time Gold Glove winner, and again, the Cardinals really didn't get anything in return. The big piece for them was just getting rid of that, that kind of
Cardinals.
cog.
St. Louis is interesting place.
Interesting place
this coming season, and then kind of a friend of the Mafia, I guess. Your former teammate Devin Williams,
Stevie Cohen, man, couldn't wait.
Switched boroughs. He went from the Bronx to Queens, and then Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto. I mean, no surprises there. Both re-signed with Philadelphia.
You know what? I didn't realize we were fortunate to have JT Realmuto down here in South Florida for those years. He was such a big piece of the Marlins. He's 35 years old.
He's old, man.
He's old. He got a 3-year deal, and I saw some of the folks.
He's old because he's our age.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine at my age being a catcher in the major leagues. But a little bit of pushback on that signing in Philadelphia just because of his age and the position he plays. Obviously, a huge part of their system. And again, the Phillies are one of those teams that's been on the cusp the last couple of years and haven't necessarily pushed through. I think the signing of Schwarber was huge. Realmuto, big piece. We'll see what happens. But I think the overall sentiment we wanted to relay today is we're really excited for Major League Baseball to be back. We're really excited that the World Baseball Classic's here in 6 weeks. We're really excited about FanFest on February 7th. We're really excited about opening day on a Friday night at Lone Depot Park.
Lights at Lone Depot Park.
Kyle Stowers bobblehead night.
I'm sure the weather's going to be beautiful, so roof is going to be open.
Knock on wood, baby.
World Baseball Classic, too. Expect the roof to be open for most of the games.
Yeah.
The same for opening day. Opening day, the first ever opening day giveaway in Marlins history.
Yeah.
That's not a magnet that you get. So you get Kyle Stowers bobblehead. It's reflecting his opening day walk-off last year against the Pirates. His line shot down the right field line. So opening day bobblehead, opening day fireworks. Marlins are facing their the Rockies. So what do you call that when you enter a team?
Oh, they were expansion brother.
Expansion. Thank you, Paul. Their expansion brother, Colorado Rockies, on opening day. That's a Friday, March 27th. But before then, again, Bullpen Mafia is going to be at FanFest. That's Saturday, February 7th at 4 p.m. So come hang out with us. And before you come to Lone Depot Park for FanFest, you should probably like, comment, subscribe, and follow us.
Engage
on all
with
platforms.
us. Yeah, we're really excited. Let us know what you want to hear from us in 2026 too. I think we've had a ton of positive feedback over the last year and a half as we've grown this together. But we want to make this a vessel for you guys as well to make sure that you're getting
the DMs are open,
the most out of your baseball fix. Toad and I are junkies, so we get as much baseball as we possibly can, but we want to make sure that this is just as much for you guys as it is for us. Like Toad mentioned, like, subscribe, follow, engage, follow Magic City Sounds. And if you're a musician out there, there's nowhere better to be than Magic City Sounds. I mean, look at this beautiful studio. We got new lights. All the sound. There's more sound system than I.
What are some of the teams invest in, like Hit Tracks? And
Kinetracks.
What's the
TrackMan?
TrackMan. Like, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's here. But if you're an artist,
so appreciate everyone listening. Again, Saturday, February 7th, we'll be at Marlins FanFest. So come swing by, come say hello, and what a fantastic way to kick off.
Hell yeah!
Season 3, Episode 1, Bullpen Mafia.
We out.